Welcome colleagues to the Town Council September Planning and Environment Committee meeting. Do we have any apologies for absence?
Yeah, councillors Messent and Poplino.
Two, to note declarations of members' interest, the agenda as it was sent out.
It's 1911, paragraph part 6, railway cottages, basically to declare a non-pecuniary interest as a member of the residents' Friends Association.
Okay.
Yeah, item 5, the application for the former Hunters Lodge. I might have something to say as item officer.
Okay, we don't think that.
Yeah, quite rude.
Right, okay. So, item 3, to consider and sign the minutes, to confirm and sign the minutes of the planning meeting held on the 15th of July. Could we have okay for those in attendance? Yeah. Okay, then, please, by signing, thank you. Item 4, public participation. If no one was present, any letters been sent in or correspondence?
No.
Item 5 then, to consider making the response to the following planning applications. The first one is 243172, a certificate of lawful existing development in respect to condition 1, outline planning permission to the land of Norton Road.
Yeah, location is there, shown. Here. The condition relates to the access onto the highway from the site, and it's a approval of condition, meeting condition of that associate application. This is a technical drawing of that showing the vision displays onto the highway, and the associated documents show completed highways works. It's a technical application stage to fulfill the conditions of its associated application.
Prior to its happening.
This is the process of making it as per as required, so they fulfill the condition. I don't have any observations or comments to make.
Okay, well, yeah. Just noting that there. Okay then. Right then. So the next one then, 3152, engineering operation to create a sustainable urban drainage basin on land to the east of the Seven Home development, reference 214382, which is a former Hunters Lodge hotel.
Again, this is a bit more a technical application. It's about the drainage, sustainable SUDS approach. This is beyond my technical knowledge, I apologise. Give you an idea of where it is. Talk about this aspect here, creating a retention pool at this point and a drainage process off that way. Comes down to it. That's the development site here. And these are the proposals for sustainable drainage in this area.
That's the green belt land, isn't it? Behind Bentley Close.
It is behind Bentley Close, yeah. So it's the land coming up here.
I don't understand.
Right road there.
Yeah. Are they allowed to do that? because it's green belt land. Technically, in my mind, they're building, if you like, under it. But
Well, the drain itself, the drain is there, and so providing a drain, I'm not aware of any restrictions on that, not building above ground, but I'm not a drainage expert, I can't answer that.
no, I agree with you. Only I know that the people who live in Bentley were up in arms because they tried to buy all of that ground when the Hunters Lodge. And they've actually building a playground on the green belt. But I don't understand the rules and regulations. All I know is that for me, they're actually building on green belt land, even if you can't see it.
Okay.
I'd like more information on it, personally, sorry.
Sorry, have the neighbours made any comment?
Not as yet.
Have the people in Bentley made any comment?
No. There's, we've got fire diversity net gain statement that shows some net gain. Their cover letter which explains why it's an application associated with the main application to fulfill a condition, the drainage calculation, which I'm not in a position to challenge. That's all we've got.
And is this development helping the flooding to houses in that area? I mean, you know, because there's an awful lot of flooding down there. So is this to alleviate that?
It's not, I'm not the answer.
So that doesn't suggest that.
No, this is a condition of the main application for that site to put in appropriate drainage. And
Right.
they're putting the application in to say they're fulfilling
The ground,
that condition.
from what I can remember, the ground behind the Hunters Lodge used to get flooded a lot because there was a freedom of access walkway through it. And locals have told me that they used to go over there, but at certain times of the year they couldn't because they couldn't walk on it because it was flooded. So I'm only going by what I've heard.
I'm not challenging the word you're saying.
No, I'm only going by what other people have told me. I've only lived there 36 years, so I've not really had a lot of time to go over the back of Hunters Lodge. But
So what comments do we, there's nothing there other than where it's going to be, calculations, I can't think about what, a flooding drainage layout, which is not suggesting what that was.
I would like to know if there are any regulations concerning building under the ground of green belt land. Because,
So
sorry,
I guess we should ask whether it is green belt land.
oh, it definitely is green
Well,
belt.
there's
Yeah.
awful, I mean, I guess the building where they're going to, is that where they're building what was Hunters Lodge?
Yeah, the red line boundary is the development site, and this is the drainage aspect will fill
And then
this
it's going
condition.
away underground.
That's it.
Where-
And that's like a holding pool to alleviate flooding down.
I would imagine that once it's finished, sorry,
Well, no, you
No,
carry
no,
on,
no,
that's
no,
all.
no.
once it's finished, you won't be able to see it and just be grass. But what I would like to know, and what I know the residents of Bentley would like to know, is that would this give them carte blanche to build on that ground in the future? Because they've already, as I said, they've already got permission to put a playground on it. And I'm very dubious about the future for them coming along and saying, well, you let us build a playground. I don't know whether or not that gives them carte blanche in the future to say, you let us put this on. I'd like to know on behalf of the people of Bentley.
Okay, you're going to ask someone else. I don't know.
No, I'm not asking you, I'm asking a question, mate.
Well, we'll have the discussion over time. Right, and then Steve.
Dennis has partly answered one of the questions was, is it visible? Secondly, I do think it's necessary because of the comments you've made, Dennis. So otherwise, the building, what the plans are, is not going to really work. And I mean, in a way, it is sustainable because it's underground, it's going to be somewhere, so it's just nature getting rid of water, which is nature. I mean, the playground bit, is that part of the development, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Why is that going to be?
Where is that going to be? That's what I'm
On this,
wondering.
on this part.
So that's okay, because it's that side of the development. So,
And it's built on Green Lane. Green
Well, that's
space.
not fast.
yeah, that's been
Yeah.
passed, so we can't argue with that, because that's been passed on the Green Land, hasn't it?
Yeah.
So that's that. But, I mean, what I'm saying is, if we pass that, you've almost got to pass that, otherwise that is going to be an eyesore and it's going to be a mess, and then we're going to have all sorts of problems. I can't see at this stage that we've got a choice, but provided it's done properly, at the end of the day, it's draining water, which is natural water, we're not talking anything, are we? Toxic, are we?
Why can't we put somewhere else?
But it, I mean, that, you know, the way that land that it's going to go, is that just going to be greenbelt? Where, what is that?
That's Greenbelt Lane.
Where
Where that is, yeah.
the drainage is going to be?
But when they put this in, is there going to be anything on top?
Well, they can't come in because they've got that, so that's going to go up on planning, and they're going to have to understand that that's there, and any housing, region development is going to be around that, but they're also going to use that equally to drain into other planning, because I would imagine the whole site will be similar to the one that's just passed. It's like a necessary evil almost, because, I mean, a lot of the new builds are like that, even my house, they've got this big pipe at the bottom, and we've got to leave that free in case someone tries to get it, because otherwise it's all clumpy and
I suppose
I think, you know, it's like a necessary step.
the only thing I can say is when they found me where the playground, the Westminster playground is, it's not being that. However, they had to put a similar thing to this because of the changes in the housing to apartments, flats.
That's right.
It's a lot more better in the bathrooms and more, and they were being flooded in Fernhill Road, Nasmith Road. So they put a huge, sump, if you like, and all you see on the top now is just the concrete because they need access to
Yeah, of course they
category
do.
maintenance.
Yeah.
There's nothing above. Now, I don't know what that's not. I don't know what that's indicating. But I think we should establish, and this is now just to try and move it on. Is it on Greenbelt? Which is a question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which is, if it isn't, then what would be anything visible above ground? And would that permission to do that allow them then at a later date to build on that particular field? So you would ask you questions that wouldn't happen. I think, like you said, that is a necessity. You need it because that's correct. But we
Yeah.
need something.
Yeah, because
of
otherwise,
flooding.
we've already passed that, and then
So
that's going to,
it's
United States going to look a mess.
Yeah. So, give me.
I mean, well, if it's a condition of the original approval that's been given by Cheshire the whole site, there should be a sustainable urban drainage system of some sort, and they're basically, presumably stated in the application for it, on the phone. Presumably states that it's to meet the requirements of planning approval X, Y, Z, something like that. Probably says it there, doesn't it? So it's a necessary adjunct, it's add on to that law. But I would say, I mean, if you look at the area of the planning approval, which would be 4382, I suppose, that's fairly clearly marked in it's HQ blue, isn't it? That is it. So that's where the housing is.
No. Where the start of the red is, they originally put in asked permission to build on that, and it was turned down because it's Greenbelt land. And where the row of houses, as you can see in the bottom left-hand corner, there, come down, no, that's it there, going across, right? That row of houses are the new ones, and from the other side of that is all Greenbelt land.
Can I finish what I was saying?
Sorry.
First of all, it isn't green belt, it's green space.
So
It's part of the
yeah,
core.
green space.
green space between Frill and Haslam. It hasn't got the space between them, which is a bit different. I mean, the planning approval for housing is that bit there that's in red. That's for the housing. This is something else. That's why it's a separate application. If they wanted to build housing there, then it would be a completely new application anyway. So it seems obviously it doesn't give them carte blanche. You can't do it because they've got the planning approval relates to this particular site, doesn't it? If you wanted to
I'm sorry to be awkward, but that is deceiving because that makes it look as though they've got permission in all that red area, the one that goes up into the point. That looks as though they've got permission to build houses there, and that was turned down.
They have got permission.
No, see, so you're talking about an area that's got.
So that,
Could you clarify this, Dennis?
Yeah.
Are you talking about that top bit, that's
That bit where the yellow, you see where the yellow road is called it, right, is in an area with a red line around it,
yeah,
right. That is behind Bentley Close,
yeah.
and that was classified as, I thought it was green belt, but you call it green space, I don't, whatever it is, they were refused permission to build on that, houses. All I'm asking is, by putting this, does this give them branch in the future, carte branch to be able to build houses on it?
No. I'm just saying, if the approval covers that site, the area edged in red, and it only shows houses there, the whole, then the condition, the original approval will state what's permitted and what isn't.
right, no,
That's
there's been some sanity to
Yeah,
it.
Sarah, there's writing on there, and I wanted to see if I could read it.
Yeah.
It says proposed online adopted attenuation basement, and it talks about all the technicalities and everything. It's just a description, and that's proposed control manhole. So it's just all technical stuff. I'm not qualified to comment on that. There will be planning officers or specialist people that Cheshire East asked to comment on it. They're not on this planning application on the website at the moment, any of their comments, are they?
No.
It's only just gone up, hasn't it? I think it came in on the 12th of September, didn't it?
Can I just clarify? I'm still a bit confused now. So the way the green line, the red line is, that part of line, has that been passed or not?
No,
Oh, it hasn't been passed?
No.
Oh, it has been passed.
It's deceiving.
So,
I
it,
thought it had
obviously
been
we're
passed.
going to have to drain the site.
Sorry.
You've got house, permission for housing here, you've got
Yeah.
housing.
Yeah.
You're going to have to provide drainage. What we really need is the technical response from qualified people, don't we? Which at some point will surely go on to that website. And I'm wondering if tonight I could propose that we, subject to a satisfactory report from a qualified environment agency, we wouldn't have any objections or any comments to make. And therefore, because it's got to be decided by the 2nd of October, I think it was, we would delegate to the clerk to keep us informed of that.
protecting our green space.
So, yeah, so
Right, now, that,
yeah, so now it makes more sense. So basically, are they wanting that to make that site just usable more for green space? Is that the idea?
this has been passed here, this here
Go on the bottom.
is a development.
Go on the bottom.
On the bottom here, all that, that's
Right.
been passed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we've got
The
done.
bit-
No, that hasn't been
The
passed.
bit up there
Sorry.
that they wanted to fill in,
Yeah,
but they've turned that back.
yeah,
Dennis is concerned, along with the people who live in.
yeah, yeah,
How they're concerned, will they be building at the back?
right.
This doesn't suggest
It doesn't, no, it doesn't.
separately, so we can't, so, do we take what Marilyn has said, noting the concerns of Dennis, we need to reflect that, but what Marilyn said, technical expertise, when it's in a report, that will protect
Yeah, I mean,
around that.
yeah,
What can you like to sum up?
I'll try. but I have some concerns about
Well,
that as a motion.
guide us. Guide us.
Right.
Can I, sorry. Basically, what I'm concerned with is that if it's what I know as a water tower, a building, that everything's underground, but they've got to have access to it. So if there's access to it, that means to me they've got to build on top to make access.
Yeah, but that's, in fact, that's what I was about to say. It's a pond. That is a pond. That blue circle is a
Yeah.
pond. That's the phrase that's used in the plan application. It's the phrase pond. Yeah, it's called an attenuation pond.
Yeah,
To create a dip, and water sits
that's
in it,
it.
creates wildlife in its own
Yeah.
little way, and it slows down
Why
the
didn't they
flow.
say that at the beginning?
Yeah,
Well, it says it now.
Sometimes it's hard to, isn't it, when it's the constant stream of consciousness. But so that's a pond. The planning application, this yellow line here,
Yeah.
already has planning approval. That is the drain for the side.
yeah,
In fact, the task, I believe, reading between the lines, to show that that is a sustainable means of drainage. So they
yeah,
acquire the opportunity to create an attenuation pond here,
yeah.
which will be visible because it's an open field. It's not going to have a concrete top. It's not going to be
that's
a
right.
road ground.
Okay.
It's a pond.
Forget I said anything.
Okay, but
Easily done.
so.
Yeah, serious.
But I think it's important the point you make. We're trying to protect the open green
Yeah.
space, and I
Yeah.
think everyone is
Yeah.
supportive of that.
Sorry, I didn't
So,
realise it. I thought it was a building.
I'm just checking, well, and that's why I'm getting in now to try and
Okay.
clarify. So if I am hearing the room correctly, and I could be corrected, that whilst we have no comments on the application that stands today, we await the report of the Environment Agency to see if anything comes out of that, and we express concern that the green space provided in the green application is retained.
Yeah, so that has to be retained.
Can we agree on that?
I agree, it
I'm
has to be
happy.
retained on that basis.
Very
That's to be retained.
Close.
Yeah.
Agree on that.
I mean,
Yeah.
I managed to look at the original planning approval, the decision notice. And in condition 17, it reads something like this. It says, no development shall take place until an overall detailed strategy and design limiting the surface water runoff generated by the proposed development, etc., has been submitted to and approved in writing by the local planning authority. So I think it's to meet that requirement. I assume that they haven't actually started building houses there. I think so. It's to meet that. So I don't.
And that's the purpose of the attenuation pond.
Yeah, there'll be a report by, I would have thought, by an officer, by a planning officer, for another planning officer to consider, and that ought to appear before the decision is made. So be after the date for submitting the petition. So I basically would say, we'll leave it to the experts, I'm happy to do that.
Right, well, I think you said that.
Yeah.
So are we on, what Val's been summed all that up?
Yeah,
Yeah.
To retain that way, yeah.
Well done, Dennis.
I like the fact that you used conscious stream of consciousness. I like that.
Apologise.
Right, okay, serious now. 24, 31, 61, change of use from residential to commercial, B3, B, West Street. This is where the shop, it's been all sorts of the years and retrospective planning, isn't it?
I didn't read that one, sorry, I apologise if you say so. Gross floor plans. But I would suggest, having read the bits I've read up to yesterday, that the principle is not that challenged on that space. West Street, it is what it is. I would just bring your attention to the proposed layout, which is these three drawings here, but mainly these two. Shows the downstairs with the retail space and shared hallway, which would then be access to the kitchen for the upstairs living accommodation, which I'm unclear on how that would flow as one single residence, because you're sharing a hallway to the kitchen with a retail space. That said, also the accommodation provided, the measurements are on there, does not fulfil the minimum technical housing standards for development with 3 bedrooms. And equally, bedroom 2 is a walk-through room, and there is no reception space, no lounge or anything like that associated with this accommodation. So it seems very low quality accommodation with no lounge, effectively, no reception room, a relatively small kitchen, so there wouldn't be a huge amount of relaxation space in there. And if there's no reception room, you can assume it's not one household, if you will, it's HMO by effect. And one of the bedrooms is a walk-through one, which is not necessarily an ideal design option. So, whilst I can't identify anything wrong with the principle of the design, the designs provide concerns associated with no internal residential amenity space or reception room, don't provide for appropriate residential waste bin storage, don't provide appropriate commercial waste storage detailing, proposals don't provide for details of secure cycle storage, provision of high density accommodation without allocated off-street parking in this location meets on-street parking pressures, does not meet minimum technical housing standards, bedroom 2 shows a walk-through room, and that's which can't be considered as an independent bedroom, and there's no external amenity space. My observations on this one.
Anyone like any comment or
I don't understand that. Are we talking about being 6 months?
Yes.
Yeah, because this change of use from residential to commercial.
Yeah. So at the minute, it looks like that. So there's a downstairs reception room,
got a reception room there?
and there's one house. And the proposal is to to make the reception room a retail space, and the upstairs,
It looks like it's the
sleeping
same.
accommodation.
Looks like it's the same as it is now.
Well, that's what the
It
change
is,
of
but
use
it's-
is
It is, you remove the reception room
Yeah.
and created 3
Oh,
independent
right.
sleeping units rather than one house.
Yeah, I mean, it's the change of use that they're applying for. I mean, if they say you take a reception and make it into a shop or something, that's the only thing I would think would be voted, because otherwise it's already there. It might be inadequate, but
You as members have the power to
Yeah.
respond to see
Is it
fit.
not suggested it's a bit expected, so you'd ask what is it being used as at the moment? Is it being used as a reception? Or
That's
actually
all,
being
yeah.
used as retail?
Yeah.
That's the question.
Yeah,
I'm only working I'm working as far as I can see.
Kevin,
Turning that into a shop is all going to cause more problems with traffic management and questions than there already is. Because every time you have a shop and a new shop pops up, the first person that comes along wants to park outside your front door of the shop.
it's on the corner of the street as well.
So people coming out won't be able to see because of park cars. Go down that end of West Street and every shop has got a car parked outside. And that includes parkers, which is
Right, okay, so what you're saying, because that to me is that it's not the size anyway for 3 bedrooms. So the bedrooms are too small,
The whole unit
6 months, so I think we should just make some comment along those lines.
is
yeah.
I mean, we're trying to get,
Yeah.
we're trying out to get something where we've got good accommodation, and this is where they're trying to, whoever lives there now, question mark, at least has a reception room to chill out and do their thing. That's gonna be a shop, and all you're gonna have is your upstairs in your bedroom.
No, living, actually, daytime living spaces.
Yeah.
Could be lack of amenity or.
I've made that as a comment I've noted, but obviously, you know, council reports
I mean,
that's not the way you want to go there,
that's
would
fair.
it?
I mean, that's a fair observation. It's going to work in the amenity or the existing residents. That's fair. I mean, they're not applying for retrospective planning approval for the rest of it anyway. Yeah, but it's the impact.
Okay.
Is there a bathroom upstairs?
There is a bathroom,
Yeah.
a bathroom here.
Or does there bathroom?
Yeah.
So it's not going to be
Right.
a decent livable space, is it?
No.
At the minute, you've got a 3-bedroom house.
See, one of those bedrooms should be a living room.
Bedroom.
don't it?
You will lose, it's a 3-bedroom, typical family house, isn't it? And you will lose that. It will be individuals having to live in their own
No, vegetables are good.
No, we don't want that.
You've got to go through one room into the other in bedroom to get to the loo.
Yeah.
So this is the impact, so it's the impact on existing residents.
Would
Right.
you say that no existing residents, because it doesn't, they could move out tomorrow, couldn't they? Isn't
Impact on
it
existing-
the provision of housing, irrespective of whether it's existing residents or future ones?
It's the impact on existing residential amenities.
Yes,
That's-
yes, yes, thank you.
How easily for that? Can you capture that? And can we, to move it on, do you want to say anything else?
No,
Okay.
no, let's say, because,
What
yeah.
points you picked out there, are we okay to object on those?
And I think actually Kev's point about, you know,
It's not like
if
If it's another shop, it's more traffic.
the traffic
There's enough shops around there.
Right, are we okay with that then?
Yeah.
Right, thank you. 24, 29, 52, this should be relative. We currently have a 2.5 metre drop curve for the Sharded Drive.
I think it's shared.
Yeah,
We're proposing to extend the current drop curve 67 miles out. And there are pictures of this, I believe.
There are, yeah.
Pictures of this building.
I apologise.
Well, that's all right.
Is it your board?
It's really tangled with this particular
All right.
area. And the parking issues I'm very familiar with.
Yeah. That's probably what they're doing. Yeah. You've got to
Imagine that, showing there's a curve.
and that's to get rid of that
Get rid of that.
and then make it. You know,
Yeah,
Because there tend to be some shared drives that way, don't they?
Yeah.
Going
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
If you show a plan, I mean, that just shows you the fact that there's a curve, a drop curve there at the minute. If you show there, right. So you've got this house at the moment. This is the shared driveway going down to their garage and next door neighbours. And they share that, so it's quite a narrow space. So where you've got a drop curve, you can just pull one vehicle in. But this person, the applicant, is a disabled person who's likely to need more space for parking. And they need to be able to guarantee that they can get, they've got all this space here that they're willing to use, which is in front of their property, to park their vehicle. And at the moment, because they've only got that small drop curve there, it does mean that other people looking for parking spaces will park in front of their house, which obviously, you can't guarantee that.
no,
But there is a particular issue in Merrill's Avenue, in that the end of it, just past here, is meant to be a turning circle, because it's a close, basically,
Yeah.
it's a cul-de-sac. And because of the amount of parked cars, it's very difficult for people to turn around. And also, there is an issue which is actually mentioned by the applicant, which may or may not be relevant, I'm aware of. It means that there tends to be commercial vehicles parked down there as well. It's a bungalows, older people generally. It's not an area that's suitable for commercial vehicles to be, but there is a particular reason why commercial vehicles are parked down there. So this person here is willing to make use of the front of their house to free up more. To get their cars.
of course it will, yeah.
So, no. Do we have a problem? Place on that?
No, not at all. No,
yeah.
Would we
Okay
be
with
able
that.
to say that we support it?
Yeah.
You
Would
like
that be,
that one?
we always want to
Yeah.
provide more.
Well, I'll second that.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay then.
Yeah.
All right then, Paul. Move on. 24, 29, 51. Listed building concerns, repairs to existing flashing, etc. And found it primary school, Marion Street.
No observations on this, and would the heritage officer was the building temporary maintenance of the heritage building.
I don't know, perhaps I will declare an interest as I'm a member of Million Sheds, which is on that same plot of land. Although our roof doesn't meet,
It's not in the school.
so just in case, sorry.
Thank you.
And this is owned by Cheshire East.
Yeah.
Yes, it is, yeah, it refers to a heritage building, bring this, if you want. There was no concerns from our part.
So there's got any, there's a heritage report, isn't there?
There is, yeah.
Protected it and so on and so forth.
Got all the heritage statements, we see the proposed elevations, they're effectively the same as repair. Work. Preparing the heritage building.
Okay, is that,
Yeah.
no problem. Yes, next one, 24, 2988. External alterations associated with the continued factory/warehouse use. This is what Dutchy Road.
Yeah, it's a large warehouse, putting slightly different doors on it. It's not,
I used to work there, I was a facilities manager there at the time.
right, there we are.
Declaring
No, because I don't work for them anymore.
He's got no interest.
But I do know the building right back of the house.
what is it,
Warehouse.
who runs it now then?
It's part of Brightstar, it's likewise, I think. But I think it's empty. I think these people have taken over.
Right.
You can't see that from the road, other than when you come up through the road.
Amendments to these doorways, new doorway there, and amendments to these doorways.
The cladding. So is there anybody?
That at the minute where they put them two single doorways, that at the minute was one rubbish door. It looks like they put two doorways in there.
The second doorway in there.
Well, okay, so basically the man in it all from making it, what you use. We're okay with that then?
Yeah.
Right, let's move on. 24, 29, 90. Change of use of existing terrace house to an HMO and conversion of garage. Hang on a minute. To residential accommodation. And it's 185 Luskin Road. There are numerous comments there and and at present, when you look at the plans, you'll see that there is all bedrooms and a kitchen now. It's not, we're not converting a family home, it's always some form of rented accommodation, whether it be two bathrooms or several rooms.
Few people got the same.
Yeah, it's not a widely popular application.
Some of which don't live there, but they all make the same point about could be overloaded HMOs. Just
Yeah.
that. Those that live close, obviously more into the state of the bins and parking, which is the biggest issue
They want to do away with the garage.
in Ruskin Road.
Sorry.
So if you look now, that's what it as is now, isn't it?
No, that's what the proposal is.
Well,
It's-
just put
it's-
the as is and then we can
There's
just.
no internal alterations of these.
No, but I just wanted to say what it is now, Brad, because it says changes to an HMO and an existing terrace house, so it's clearly not registered as an HMO. However, when you look at that, you've got bedroom, kitchen, bedroom, bathroom, is it?
Yeah.
So you've got 1, 2, 3, you've got 5 bedrooms now in the kitchen. One's en suite. So it's already, if you like, 5 roomed house.
Which they don't need.
It's not a phone. And they want to, this applicant to actually, I assume, justify that, they say we want to have this registered in HMO.
Yeah.
But we also want to put people into the garage. Develop the garage, yeah. Hence a lot of comment.
What's the, can you remind me, I can't remember the terminology, there's a article.
Article directive.
Yes,
Yeah.
does that apply
Yes.
here? Well, we need to make sure that's enforced then, don't we? I would suggest.
If I was wondering, maybe have a look at some of the observations I spotted, you're welcome to ignore them or use them or find more. The provision of HMO in this location is in opposition to the principles of the associated Article 4 directive to prevent the proliferation of unsustainable development of HMOs in the
Yeah.
Accommodation does not meet the minimum technical housing standards for living accommodation for a 6-bedroom unit demonstrates provision of accommodation significantly below the prescribed level. Conversion of an outbuilding to permanent residential accommodation is not supported as it removes suitable and sustainable amenity space for future uses. Proposals do not identify sustainable waste storage, which is a known and highlighted localised issue in reports which will adversely impact on immediate existing residents. There is no provision for off-street parking, which will adversely affect the needs of existing residents due to increasing on-street parking pressures. And there is no provision for secure cycle storage.
Yeah, we propose that we strongly object to this application for those reasons.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm thinking this is on the opposite from 16. It shows
On that
But it's on the same side.
Same side as- yes,
the same side as the,
it's on that road down there,
yeah,
the one where they park the cars, and probably if you go now, there's probably a dozen cars, various ways parking, including in front of the garage doors. But yeah, there's a picture actually of
there's a big business point. I mean, I think the direction of it talks about it prohibits basically the sandwiching of other properties between HMOs. This one is on a corner, so it's effectively a semi-detached house. But did you mention in those objections the impact upon parking?
Last
as well?
time, you know.
The impact upon parking,
Yeah.
because if you're proposing to convert a garage, it's just going to worsen the parking situation,
Yes,
Well,
that was
actually,
in what,
There's a picture of the
Clark
garage.
read out, that point was made.
The 182 is obviously opposite. And it's one of these pictures you will see. That's the entry, that's the alleyway opposite. Actually. But there is a picture on, I don't know what that is.
Not nice.
I can't read it.
I don't know, where is it? Can't find it now. I know you're on about it.
But while Steve searching for that, I looked on the reference from Colin Wyatt. Colin works for Tesco, he makes the comments about
from strategic housing.
and his comments about the garage, particular garage. He says that we need to see the plans of the garage, because if there was no kitchen area, then that would mean you'd have to go into the house.
Yeah.
So he said that would be, he hasn't used these words, a non-starter, because it just says I want to convert it,
Yeah,
but there's no
No detail.
dimensions and so on.
Yeah.
If you make it into a self-contained kitchen, that's,
Yeah.
but it hasn't. That's the house as is, but it's next to that one. Whoever's put that in, well, that's at the back, that down, that, yeah, that. And once it, there's three pictures
There's a
on
comment there
6'8",
higher up.
on 6'8".
From housing. It's a comment
So I think the Colin Wyatt comments, maybe 3 or 4 comments that we need to do. The one in particular about the garage is, which this application really about. You're not content to get 5 individuals. Well, there is a lots of issues around there as well.
Yeah.
We want lots of issues.
As I suggested, I propose that we strongly object to all those reasons.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah, that's unanimous. Thank you, Alan. Right. Next one then, 24/31/96, single story side extension to accommodate disabled bathroom, utility room, and garage converted to a bedroom to enable full-time care.
This is not a controversial one, it fits on the site very easily, it's not excessive and provides additional sustainable living accommodation for someone who needs some access. I don't want to make comments on it.
Okay with that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
thank you. Right, that concludes the plan application. So how this is the item 6 to consider making responsibility to any urgent plan applications that are related to the general public. First one being 24/3166, variation in conditions 2, 11 and 20 on the plans approved 22/4/94. Crew house car park spaces, Oak Street.
I couldn't even find what the difference is. I think someone was betrayed again. It was searched out the conditions and it was great. You just remind yourself of the conditions.
Yeah,
So, 24/964, sorry. Check out
the original one. We'll make a comment there. Town council.
The conditions were condition 2, it must be according to those site plans, which is standard condition 11, which was drainage, and 20, something similar. Detailed surface water drainage, so that's what this application is about, that's why. So it's providing updated plans associated with the drainage of the site, which you're welcome to look at, but I have no promise to make. Not
Does anybody else want to make any comment? No, we're okay with that?
Yeah, I think more.
Right, good. Is there any more?
That's all I've
Across
got.
it. Okay then, item 7, to note responses submitted under delegation. We did that, so on, and then we- Item 8, to note and consider correspondence consultation, planning policy, circulating authority, planning authority, amendments item, and there's one item on there, the Valley Brook Corridor Active Travel Scheme.
Yeah, that was received relatively recently, issued by Cheshire East, the Valley Brook Corridor Active Travel Scheme. With members in mind, you don't have to make specific comment on it.
Anybody want to make? Steve?
I would like to make a comment on that. I think, hopefully others will agree. There's all sorts of environmental improvements have been suggested through this scheme in the consultation document. And broadly speaking, no real problem with those. I think that they found quite an issue, I understand, with the original idea of getting a walk, having a pedestrian area, footpath all the way from the park alongside the Valley Brook. I think there's some difficulties with that. But whatever, I think that's caused problems doing it, and also I think probably problems with costs too. So they revised it somewhat, but one of the, anyway, mostly it's something I support, not least the intent of plan to improve the Valley Brook, the Valley Park play area, and that's surrounding nearby, like the orchard, things like that. So those certainly would, I think, we can support. But there is one aspect of what's been the consultation which, frankly, is not acceptable. In fact, I go so far to say is barking mad, and that is the proposal to add to make Electricity Street and Alton Street one way in the westward direction all the way, or at least for some unspecified distance, it also talks about a 20 mile an hour limit. Two, particularly the sole object to a 20 mile an hour speed limit, it's not easy to drive much faster than that anyway, unless you sort of but the idea of having a one-way system, a one-way road all the way, potentially from Emerson Road right through to Queen's Park, it's not explained, from what I can see from the consultation document, it's not clear what extent that would have anyway. And there's so many impacts. The most obvious failing is that if you're going to have a one-way system in the westerly direction, where does the eastbound traffic go? That is the basic issue. There's there'll be such an impact on the area. So I think that is, I'd say that is a non-starter. I mean, observations have also been made anyway about, in fact, if Alton Street became one way, the question is, well, why would it become one way? And I think the answer is to use part of it as a cycle lane, rather than the same way as Devonshire Street has been altered, I think, anyway. But if it's a one-way system, it is known in some areas that can actually increase the speed because you've got more road to drive at. But it's an ill thought, I think the proposal, the idea of having a one-way system, potentially the whole method is just ill thought out, the implications are ill thought out. Where would the eastbound traffic go? How would you get access from the south through to the town centre, and so on and so on. So I think an objection to that particular idea. And it certainly needs to be far more detail and some more thought to be given to any such suggestion. So I think I'd like to think object as a the town council to that particular suggestion.
Well, it's obviously, you've mentioned the benefits, this is to improve an area at the moment that's not making the best use of what could be a nice nature area and it could provide space for pedestrians and cyclists. And it is funded by the government, funds are available from the government, so that's a good thing, isn't it? Now, at the moment, this is just a public engagement exercise. It's up to the 20th of October. Now, quite rightly, Councillor Hopkins has pointed out, what stands out is that they're proposing that possibly Alton Street and up to Electricity Street would be made one way. And I totally agree with some of what you've said, in that it's very difficult to see how that could be practical, and we'd be very concerned, the residents in my ward would be very concerned. How are they going to get to and fro their town? How are people going to get to the mosque on the days when they go to the mosque? Traffic very, Electricity Street, traffic very heavy in those times. So if you're going to propose to make one street, that corridor, Alton Street up to Electricity Street, to connect to Eccleston Road one way, there isn't a mention of what other traffic and highways plans there are. So I would say that we would support, we've said what we think the benefits are, and we would support that. But at this stage, this is the public engagement exercise. There are opportunities to go to this one. There's been public events, and you can go and look at these plans and engage with officers and that. So the public are doing that. So I think we would want to express our concern and highlight the need to see if traffic proposals were being made, to make sure that is done in a sustainable and sensible one. And I wouldn't go as far as saying it was, I wouldn't challenge I wouldn't want to comment on anybody's mental health.
Oh, no, I didn't know. Your concern when we were talking that.
I think I just said parking.
Dennis,
I think that's what you just said
Having
parking.
a devious mind, could this be put in to divert attention from something else that they thought might cause problems?
no. No, no.
No? Okay. I'm just,
Conspiracy
What?
theory.
We're going up, folks, without,
One other
this is a consultation.
Yeah.
That, on a plan that's been in the pipeline for a long time. To be able to walk or cycle, Crew Station, down Mill Street, to the back of here, but also veering off by the brook into Mill, from the Mill Street. The idea, which is a very good idea in principle, was you get onto the walk there, you could walk and follow the brook all the way to Queen's Park. That sounds great everywhere else. Unfortunately, there are parts that are inaccessible or that would need too much money. So what we're now suggesting, so that the three of us, the bike riders, can have a safe environment to find everyone walk. We want to then disrupt, let's use the word disrupt, the traffic flow in Alton Street and electricity. So that not only would it make it difficult for people to an alternative, because already people are saying, well, you've got Gainsborough Road's parallel in Alton Street, you've got Wissison Road that's parallel in Alton Street, which way? I can only assume, because it says the buses will have to be rerouted. Didn't they go one way? So the number 8 bus that goes the figure 8 around through Sydney bus station, Queen's Park, and reverses, would have to, whichever way they decide, one way, it would then come back down Stewart Street into Witterson Road and along there. So it's not just a question of saying it'd be a nice idyllic walk or cycle, it actually creating a lot of issues for residents. And I don't think personally, on the balance, that's right. I think where we can get them by the I think that's where it should be. I think it should start in Witterson Road and then drops down into the Valley Park, all the way along there, and wherever you can. So where we can do it, we should do it.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think if we're not careful, and you start, because people who live in all part of the county, it's going to create more.
I totally agree.
Really, we want to do it together, don't we?
Yeah, I
We
totally
should
agree.
support people what ride the bikes, but equally, don't go upsetting.
No, I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you. I don't.
And there was
I
another
don't-
aspect.
It's a consultation. It's a consultation, we as individuals should be making some comment.
Right. I totally agree with what you're saying.
Because there was another aspect that I didn't actually mention, because I think there's reference there to making them, to stopping on-street parking. And the simple question is then, is well, if you live in one of the terraced houses,
It's with the park.
where are you going to
I
park?
know.
Yeah, there are some which have lots of parking space, and then there's parts of Alton Street, especially from beyond Valley Park up to Stewart Street and so on, where there's very limited off-street parking. So it has to consider those. I'm sure that will come out in the whatever it's been called, engagement exercise and so forth. I think, I mean, it's worthwhile comment, I suppose we could make if we're going to do it from here. Advise on that. Yeah, there are a couple of exhibitions and that. I think one's on Wednesday this week and the other one's, I think that's at the Lifestyle Centre, and there's another one a few days afterwards. But people need to be encouraged, hopefully will be, are being encouraged to take part in that. And then the consultation itself goes on to that 10th, 20th what the code that says. So there's plenty of opportunity there for not just the town council, but individuals, our councillors, groups to make their comments. And I think it'd be good, actually quite useful if we sort of made that call, you know, we could say, have your say on this.
I think it's
That's a sort of.
I think it's very important.
You are,
Okay, yeah, I've got,
yeah,
from there. So make that call. We already shared this information, it's out there, and you know, it's going to see, we repeat the calls for engaging with the Cheshire issue on this. We have been involved with this project on the sideline for a while, and the Valleybrook corridor, as you know, comes out of Queen's Park and down here, and disappears on Elston Road here. And there are ways of walking down the road, but the path is hard to navigate at times. And the principle has been explained to create a continuous path into Mill Street and come off here at Brook Street, which was an option. And yes, they've run out of money, it's got more and more expensive, and so they can't do it. And now the Valleybrook Green Corridor, as was, become an on-road cycle path, not on the Valleybrook and not in the Green Corridor, which is a problem for a project when it moves entirely away from its initial position. If I may, if I can try and summarise that, sorry if I missed any points, it seems that members support the principle of active travel, and maybe as much as possible by the book that it could have been achieved, and equally the provision of active travel facilities anywhere in town, but not at the expense of traffic flow that may have impacts that don't seem to be assessed, measured and modelled yet. And so there are concerns and objections to the principle of one-way traffic being introduced on Holden Street and Electricity Street, and then the impact associated with removing on-street parking in those areas that may have on residences and therefore displace issues elsewhere in the town.
Yeah, that's very good.
Is that okay?
Yeah, that's really good.
And then equally, we'll encourage everyone to make their own comments separately.
Yeah, that's really
yeah,
good.
well,
Yeah,
soon court, yeah.
that's a good summary.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank you for that, yeah.
thank you.
Any other thoughts on?
Set off. Doesn't have to go to council.
No, I can say
Yeah,
observations of the planning environment.
yeah.
Particularly Steve. Anyway, now,
What have I say? Thank you very much.
now, no correspondence associated with planning enforcement, and it's the demolition, potential demolition of the canopy.
Yeah, it was observed by the chair, and you made representation to planning enforcement as practice. They've returned and they've investigated and are confident of the developer's intent to ensure it's retained and restored and put back as was.
This is frivolous. But when I read it at first, it said demolition, not demolition, type. But demolition of canopy.
Oh,
Anyway, then the spell check covered the rest of the letter. That's all. I thought, well, there's that's lots of carelessness there.
All I do is copy and paste.
No, I'm not saying it's for your carelessness.
Well, there's an element of that. There we are. So it's only for noting that it will hopefully be assured that the canopy
Chair not being well educated, what's the canopy?
It's a big stand
Item, you're going cross up.
Yeah.
Item 10, building conservation. 10.1, update on progress towards the conservation area appraisal and management plan.
Yes, there's no written book. It hasn't been on the desk. We passed since last saw it. There was a briefing to members, and we've had where it's at the first iteration, first draft of it, which was all very exciting and interesting. It's now in the process of engaging Cheshire East Planning Departments to take it on to its next phase. We can't work with the conservation area. We're not the planning authority. We can only request one. We can resource it by doing all the research, which is what's gone on with this so far. There's a big hefty document, a lot of findings in it, a lot of interesting stuff. There is an element of concern from Cheshire East colleagues about the amount of work required to move this on as a planning policy, it become an Article 4 directive effectively. And so we need to sit down with them and the conservation experts that we're working with to hammer out exactly what can be agreed is okay to be in this. Now, our experts are telling us everything they've got in there is exactly right. Cheshire East colleagues are telling us that it requires some looking at. We're not precious about it as long as we get to the point of a sustainable conservation area that can protect some of our built heritage that we still hold. And that's what we're trying to get to in a pragmatic, but also positive way.
Item 11, environment and sustainability project.
You've got a report in there, and it's been noted just progress going on by Public Services Officer Manager, and they're convinced there's no cause for delivery of the project just yet, but you have drafted within the budget a little budget for these potentially for next financial year. It's just a nice update. There's work going on, and it's good that the committees are informed of it.
So, particularly to the nature recovery strategy, that's what the whole council might wish to consider encouraging villages funding or support organisations which are interested in taking steps to support nature with schemes such as wildlife gardens, rainwater collection, tree planting, and food ponds. That's what's interesting because that will shine, that sort of thing will shine with wildlife trust.
Yes.
I applaud that. Thank you very much.
Okay then, so item 12, budget setting. Consideration of potential committee budget for 25-26.
The last time we looked at this, we drafted in £10,000 for environmental projects and to support that sort of work. It sits in there as a draft unless you mind to amend it in any way, shape or form.
How much did we spend last year?
Well, you didn't have a budget last year, you had £0
Yeah.
to do anything, and environmental projects is a new feature of the corporate strategy, so it fell to this committee to see what happens. So, just like Councillor Alden said, tree planting, wildlife gardens, sports, beauty groups, and what they do, that sort of thing.
We're okay then?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay then, item 13. To note the proposed date of the next meeting of the Planning and Environment Committee is the 14th of October.
It's in the
We write
diary.
it down
Absolutely.
at 6 p.m.
Thank you.
I'd like to thank you for your attendance, the cooperation, your brevity,